Bert Oliva's Mastermind Circle.
Welcome back to another Mastermind Circle session. Today I'm really excited. And I know I say that every week, but this week I am truly excited. The reason is because I'm going to give you tools and tips to get your social media and your branding out there to the masses. If you guys really are excited about this as much as I am, raise your hands so I can see that you guys here. Whoever is here, raise your hands. This is going to be good information. So I really want you to go ahead and get a paper and pencil and get ready to write things down. And this is the stuff that my team and I have put together for over 12 years now doing social media, and we've mastered it, as you guys know. The reason you're here is because you've probably seen us somewhere on a social media or Glide group or whatever the case is. So I want to start by welcoming all the new people that joined this week. Congratulations for coming and joining us on this new Mastermind Circle. It's a great group of people. I also want to thank the people that we invited for the first time. So let me go ahead and get started. My name is Bert Oliva. I've been doing seminars for over 21 years now. I usually turn on a video, which you're about to see, which will explain everything that I've done in 21 years, more or less, compress, and then give you the rules and the regulations and the core values of what we do here at Mastermind. And right after that, we'll get started. So you guys ready?
Bert Oliva is an international orator. He speaks around the world about his experiences and teaches humanology, the scientific study of human potential. He has enchanted audiences all over the world, showing them the power of mind over matter.
He's one of the most talented speakers out here, and I highly recommend him to any type of
The more prepared you are, the luckier you'll be.
He is the world-renowned authority on leadership and human behavior.
Mr. Bert Oliva.
Bert Oliva.
He's considered the voice of inspiration and motivation. Today he'll pass his knowledge on to all of us.
For over 2 decades, Bert Oliva has touched the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. Bert has a dedicated social media following and an impressive online influence few possess, enabling him to communicate with audiences he has touched near and far.
I think he's one of the greatest motivators out there.
The thing I love about Bert is he's on stage and he gives his heart every single time.
He has developed many programs, recorded audio CDs, and written books, all of which to help those ranging from individuals to corporate and Fortune 500 companies. He has dedicated his life to speaking all over the globe and met some of the most influential and powerful people in the world.
Okay, let's go.
He has also coached highly successful business executives and politicians.
Normally seen as impossible.
I believed it and I did it.
An infectious motivator.
So get ready to learn tools that will help you tap into your potential.
Pay attention, this is real stuff.
Get ready to have an experience you won't soon forget. Please help me welcome Bert Oliva.
Okay, this week, like every week that I come in and we have a guest speaker, we usually do the interviews, and then this is the week that we do the guest speaker, and it's one of the members. We now have still currently 5 sponsorships available. So what I need you, scholarships, I'm sorry. The sponsor has sponsored us to give away 5 scholarships. What that means is that if you know any 5 people or any one person that you think that can use this tool, don't hesitate. Contact Belinda or contact Valerie, and then go ahead and let them know that you have someone, and that person gets to be here for a month, and they get to try it, they get to experience it, and for all you know, you might be the person that was able to change their life because you came to them at the right time. But today I'm really excited. Not only am I excited for the story I'm about to hear, I'm also excited about today's lesson. So like I said before, get yourself a paper and pencil. We're going to give you a lot of tools, and usually this seminar is like a 2.5-hour seminar, and we've compressed it as much as we could to do it in an hour. So I'm going to be going pretty quick, okay? So I just wanted to let you guys know. You guys still there? If you're there, raise your hand. I want to make sure you guys are with me. Okay, this exercise here, your story. I truly believe that everyone has a test or a mess in their life. Test is part of a testimony, and a mess is part of a message. So what we do is we do a 5-minute speech. So if you haven't done yours yet and you're a member, what are you waiting for? Make sure that you contact Valerie before the session is over and let her know that you're interested, and then we'll put you on the lineup, and then we'll send you the actual a packet that we send to you on an email that breaks it down, and we actually help you get prepared for your message. The message is important because not only will you help people sharing your message, it will help you expand on being able to do business in the future. This is one of the biggest fears that people have is public speaking. I mean, it's been said that people are afraid of two things. They're afraid of dying and they're afraid of public speaking. And most people prefer to die than to speak in public. So keep that in mind. This is a breakthrough at the same time. So I'm about to bring in our speaker, which is Andrew.
Yes, sir. How are you doing today, sir?
Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. I'm definitely excited.
I don't know you that long, but for the short period that I've known you, I've seen an amazing amount of growth that has come out of you. And when I see people like you that take action and people that evolve that quickly, it makes me love more what it is that I do. So I see it happening. So I want to congratulate you. You're doing an amazing job. And this, what you're doing tonight is really bigger. It's another step forward in where it is that you're going. So you know the rules. I'm going to break it down for the new people that don't know. What happens is I'll go ahead and ring a bell. That means he'll get started. All he'll have is 5 minutes. If he finishes before the 5 minutes, I will still let the timer go. And then what happens 1 minute before the timer's up, you'll hear another ring. That means he has 1 more minute. And then the last ring means he's done. And then we remove him from the screen, and then we'll give you the evaluation. So are you ready?
I am ready.
So I'll leave the show to you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Andrew Ochan. I live in Toronto, Canada. I was born and raised in Uganda. Being born in Uganda, I was born during the time when my dad had lost his job. He was working as a cop. Being a cop in Uganda is the least paying job. So I was born in poverty. I was born in slums where I went through 3 different messes. One was poverty, one was alcoholism, one was domestic violence. Poverty, I didn't have food to eat. Growing up as a kid, that's a challenge, and having a mom who really, valued her reputation around society. She would not let me go and eat from other neighbors. So what I did was I would go out in the bushes and I'll look for mangoes, I'll look for whatever I could find. And most of the time there's something we called factory damage. These were companies that would dump their bread or whatever they didn't need. And we were the kids on top of the garbage, eating their bread, So that was poverty. And my parents also could not afford to keep me in school. Once every week I would be kicked out of school, So I grew up in this environment, and not only poverty, they say charity begins at home, but also violence begins at home. I grew up in a place where once every week my parents would have a fight, and I internalized that, and I was always going out there and also fighting my friends. I had so much anger, so much envy in me, and to the point that I would just fight my friends around. And another thing, my dad was alcoholic. He didn't spend time talking to us, raising us, telling us how a man has to be. Most of the time, you would even meet him on the road and he would definitely just pass you without saying anything. So all these things just created a challenge for me to not to know how to guide myself, not to know how to answer certain questions. So I got to a point where I dropped out of school, but my grandmother offered to help me pay my tuition to stay in school. And he took me to this school that changed my life. This school was a sports playing, school. So I happened to see one of the kids one day on the parade that was receiving 5 trophies in 5 different sports disciplines. And ever since that day, my life just totally changed. And I was like, I want to be like that person. I started working at it. I started going to the sports stadium every day. I was the first kid there and the last kid to leave. And over the time, I started building my skills. I started performing for the countryside cricket team, even tennis. And then one day I stopped. I felt like my mom was giving me too much pressure. You come back too late in the night. I don't want you to get in trouble, because I was walking almost 5 kilometers to school. and I happened to walk through a bush that, you know, they used to dump bodies. They used to, like, it was dangerous. There was human trafficking most of the time. So I stopped until my dad came again in my life and told me, hey, this is how you could attain a scholarship and be able to pay for your tuition. So ever since then, I was like, every time my mom complained, I was like, speak to daddy. He knows why I'm doing this, you know? So then I happened to, like, even go to qualify to come to Canada to play the World Cup qualifiers under 19, you know? I got signed up for a contract. At that time, my dad had lost his job now. He was planning to go back to the village. So I was like, I'm not going back to the village because my village is a war-torn area. Like, part of my siblings were kidnapped in the rebel group Connie, and like they served in the rebel group for almost 20 years before they managed to escape. So I didn't want to go there. So I applied for refugee status. So that's how I happened to stay in Canada. And when I got in Canada, it was negativity around me. There was always people telling me, you gotta go work in the factory. Even the club that I had signed up for, the owner was sending me to a factory to work. I was only 17. I was like, what can I do? So I looked around, I searched, I found people that were able to help me send me back to school. And I told my cricket manager, you know what? I'm done cricket. If this is what you see in me and this is the future that you're creating for me, I'm done. I won't do this anymore. So now I managed to graduate with a Bachelor of Commerce degree at Ryerson University. And yeah, hey, I still have a brighter future. And I look up to, like, you know, getting myself into a travel company and build my career from there. You know, I look up to, like, you know, starting my own travel company. You know, I love where I come from. It's a beautiful country. But yeah, I mean, that's a little bit about my story.
That was great, Andrew. That was awesome. Go ahead and take them off. We're going to bring them back at the end for everyone that has questions. My critique when it comes to this session, he did a great job. He actually shared a powerful story. And he was able to finish within the 5 minutes, which is one of the most difficult things to do. And you guys will see when it's your turn and you're ready to do it. One of the things that I really enjoyed was that the story had different phases in it. The only thing I would add to it is more internalizing your story. So while you're sharing the story, make sure that you're experiencing it again and again and again, because what you're going through, the person on the other side is going to feel it. So a good thing is fluctuation of the words or the voice, being able to increase the voice. When I was playing cricket and then I decided to give up, so that's just something else that I would have added to it. Other than that, it was really, really good. So I congratulate you for that. Well, what I want to do is get you guys started. Like I said, I'm trying to pack in a 2.5-hour presentation into a 1-hour presentation. So I'm looking at my time here, and I got about 30 minutes that I want to really pack it into. It's going to be crazy, so I'm going to go fast. So if anybody wants to be a speaker next week, please go ahead and tell Belinda or Valerie. You can contact them, let them know that you want to be a speaker in the upcoming weeks, and then we'll put you on an actual list. And in fact, I have one of the members that said, I want to be on there, and she actually made sure that she's going to be on there, like, 6 weeks ahead, and she's coming up real soon. So it doesn't mean that you're going to do it next week or the following week. It just means that you're setting it up. So that's the first step. Take the first step today. Tell Valerie you want to go ahead and be in the next session. All right, so today's lesson is about social media. If you guys want to know all about social media in 30 minutes, raise your hands. I want to make sure you guys are with me. You guys are with me? There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Social media. Look, number one thing I also want to talk about is, this is another thing. I know I'm bringing up a lot of information, but one thing I want to know is whenever I come up with these lessons, it's not lessons that I come up with because I feel like sharing it. It's lessons that I get letters and emails from the members that are here. So please, if you have an idea of what you need, there's a lot of members here that are motivational speakers, life coaches, and even though they're doing it already, confirmation sometimes is better than learning something new. So what I'm going to do today is give some of you a lot of new information and some of you some confirmation you already know. So if you have an idea of a topic that you would like me to bring up, please feel free to contact Belinda or Valerie and we'll make it happen. So social media, this is really important, and I really want you guys to focus on this. That's why I asked you to get a paper and pencil, write things down, because I'm going to give you some powerful tools. And for those trainers that are out there in our group right now, you can probably use some of this stuff. in your own presentations. So here we go. What social media is all about is about building a brand, building a company. You see, if I ask you right now, what's the #1 company in the world? People usually tell me it's either Apple or Google. And those are great answers. However, the #1 company in the world is you. And that's what you need to realize. We live in the world that people want to connect with people. So you got to build your brand. You got to be very careful what it is you're posting every day. And every now and then you may slip up and post something that you shouldn't have, and it might go viral. But for the most part, if you follow some of these guidelines that I'm going to give you, you're going to build a strong brand. And the stronger your brand is, the more successful you become in any industry. So you don't have to be a speaker. I know I have James in here that he's doing a radio show, and he's not a speaker, but he's doing a radio show. So as long as you're involving yourself with people, and by the way, everyone in the world is in the people business. Because if you have no people, you have no business. So this is going to give you a good guidance on what to do. This is the resume of the future. Social media is a resume of the future. I get my gigs from being online for so many years. You know, sometimes they'll go ahead and say, I've never heard of Bert. Or, you know, do you have anything you can send me? All we tell them is Google Bert. When they Google me, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of information, events, brochures, videos, pictures. So they have everything they're looking for. In fact, I just received a while back, about a month ago, an interview from the Boston Globe, because I had done an event with Donald Trump 10 years ago, no, like 7 years ago. And they found me on social media, and they contacted me to do the interview. So what I'm telling you is not to impress upon you, is to let you know that it is powerful, that you can go out there, and by building your brand, people will come to you. It creates credibility. And this is one of the things I tell my children: be careful what you post. A lot of companies, even though in some states it's illegal, they still do it. They want to look at your Facebook, they want to look at your Twitter, your Instagram, whatever social media that you're using, and they want to see what it is you're doing. So when you go in front of that interviewer, whether it's for a business or even a contract, and you're trying to sell, you know, a service, they already know what you're doing. They already know who you are. So be careful what it is you're posting out there. Also, let me give you some stats here. You know, 50 million users. Now imagine if 50 million people would be watching your stuff right now. That would be powerful, right? So let me just share with you how long it took for 50 million users to use different devices and different technologies. The radio took 38 years to have 50 million listeners to listen to radio. It took TV 13 years. And it took the internet 4 years. This is my favorite one. Facebook, to receive 50 million users, it only took them 5 months. And these are old stats. This just gives you an idea of the power of the internet. People thought the internet was going to be a fad, and it's no longer a fad. This is reality. If you're not a part of social media and you're not doing it right, don't complain to me when 3-4 years go by, or not even that, because we live in a fast food society, when 6 months go by and you're wondering why you're not getting picked for certain things, why you're not getting gigs, why no one's showing up on your radio show, why no one's showing up on my sessions. The reason is because if you're watching me and you're a part of what we do, we pump out so much content every week, and it's quality content, and it's good information, and we're going to share with you how to do some of that. Here, I'll give you another example. This is what happens in 1 minute on the internet. Uber gets about 694 rides in 1 minute. Facebook has over 4,166,000 posts in 1 minute. Twitter, 347 tweets. YouTube, over 300 hours of new video are being posted every minute. And these are just some of the information I have here. This is powerful stuff. If you're able to take a screenshot, I recommend it. So you can really look at how powerful this is. In fact, I'm going to try to put this image up in the Mastermind Circle Facebook so you guys can have it. I really want you to pay attention. What happens in 1 minute? People saying, well, you know, it's not enough time. Let me tell you, you got to get out there. And if you're doing it, great. If you're not doing it, this is the time. Mobile marketing. More than 1.8 billion mobile users are up today. 1.8 billion. And how many of those people are watching you? You know, that's what you got to really think about. 67% of the people that have mobile phones will check without even needing to. They'll check the phones just because they're so conditioned. It's a part of their life that they'll pick up that phone, you know, just like this, and they'll look at it just to see if someone's calling, if they miss a Snapchat, if they miss an Instagram, something. They just have to look at the phone. So this is 67%. Look, we have 71% of the people sleep with their phones next to them. This is another great stats. 90% of the people today that shop, they either are shopping while at the store. They're either looking at prices, checking, comparing. In fact, right now you go to Best Buy, and Best Buy has a comparison of price check. If you have a better price and you can show them it's from an authorized distributor, they'll give you the price that you're showing them on the screen. It's amazing, the power of the internet. Also, 80% of the people surf and watch television. In fact, now they have smart TVs. What is that telling you? That your content has to be powerful enough that when they start coming through the feed, because people, my in-laws just bought a 90-inch screen TV or 100-inch screen TV, and at the end of the day, they spend all the time in the world going through YouTube, and they're not YouTubers. So do you have content on YouTube? Have you posted it correctly? You never know, because these are the people, and they're not millennials. They're baby boomers, and they're watching their television. They're not watching HBO anymore. They just go through YouTube to look for music or look for repairs at the home, and it's an opportunity for them to see your product or service. Okay, so the first thing I want you guys to do is the avatar. You're going to create an avatar. For those of you that have been with me for a while, I've changed my hair. I've let it grow long. I've had it short. You know, I shaved it. I'm a character. I come up with different looks all the time. However, my avatar hasn't changed in a long time. It's the little make it happen emblem. So when you see it, you know it's me. I'll give you an example. You have your avatar. Your avatar is you, the person. Take your best selfie and make sure that after we do this, if you haven't done it already, go out there and post it in every social media. Make sure it's the same one. Because sometimes what happens is we open up a new social media and then we put up a new picture. And people might not recognize you from the other picture. So you got to be consistent across the board. Banners. The banner, I'll give you an example. Facebook has the avatar and the banner. And a lot of people will go ahead and put, you know, a selfie of themselves and then a picture of their cat or their dog. Well, then it's more of a personal, you know, type of thing. Even though you may be a life coach, even though you're selling widgets or whatever the case is, people won't get to see that because they're looking at your cat or your dog. So make sure your banner represents your company or your product or your service. So that way they look at your picture, they like who they see, which is your avatar. Then they look up and they see the banner and they're like, oh, I've seen that company before. Let me see what else they're doing. The other thing is make sure you write down 140 to 60 words, characters. Write down a paragraph with 160 characters. The reason I say 160 is because sometimes you're able to put it in 160 in some of these social medias. However, 140 to 160 is a safe zone. So if you go ahead and you write it down, then you'll have it with you. This is what you're going to do today. You're going to go ahead and find yourself your avatar, whatever picture you're going to be using for the next 3 years. You're going to go ahead and find your banner. The banner represents your company, your service, or your product. And you're going to create 160 words of a description of what it is you do. Like, I'm a human behavior and a coach, and at the same time, I also do leadership training. So the way, when you look at ours consistently across the internet, you will notice that it's basically the same thing. The reason I tell you this is because this is your power packet. If you create this and you have it with you, as soon as a new social media comes up, like Periscope came up, like I think 8 months ago was when they really launched it. And you're going to go out there, open it up, and not do this to it, and then it's like you're starting all over again. But if you go ahead and you had this put away on a file, and you put it up, boom, there you go. People will start recognizing you. Oh, no, now Bert's on Periscope. Let me go follow him there. So again, your avatar, your banner, and your description. You guys are liking this? If you guys are paying attention, give me your hands up. I want to make sure you guys are here. Good. Good. Thank you. Social consistency. This is an example. This is old, but it gives you an idea on consistency. You see, this is Facebook, BOWA.TV. Then you have it on different social media. You have it on Facebook. You have it on Twitter. You have it on YouTube. You have it on Instagram. But if you look across the top, one way or another, you can tell it's the same company. You can tell that this is the same person. You see my avatar is a circle with the make it happen. And then in the background, you get to see, oh, I see the red. Oh, I see the BOWA. Does that make sense? If you guys agree, raise your hands. Okay, there we go. I just want to make sure you stay with me. So it's really important that you are consistent across the board. This is what it's going to look like when people find you, because we don't know what their preference is. And today's world is kind of difficult. There's so many social medias, so you need to find what your preference is. However, at the same time, still make sure that you're a part of the other ones. Here we go. 33% rule. 33% rule is, you know, what do I put? I don't have such an incredible life, or, you know, my life is not so exciting. You know, sometimes this is our self-talk telling us, you know, that you shouldn't be doing it. Well, I'm going to give you the 33% rule. Things that you can post. Give you an idea. This is a great list for you to write down. 33%, what do you want to post? People want to know about your personal life. They want to know about lifestyle. And it doesn't have to be you have to take them in like we do with it. We have a reality show. We actually take you in and show you how we live our life. However, I'm not telling you have to go to that extreme. You know, your grandson goes play baseball. You go ahead and take a picture of him. And you say, I love my son. I love seeing my grandson playing baseball. You know, your daughter, your son, your wife does ballet, for example. You go ahead and take a shot of her, you know, or yourself playing golf. So that shows personal and lifestyle. So you want to put a little bit of that. Preferably, you want to get into videos, but we're just talking about posting things so people know that, you know what, Bert is a motivational speaker. However, I love his lifestyle. I love the way he travels. I love what he does with children. When you look, what you want is when people go through your social media for it to tell a story. You know, and that's really what you're trying to build. Slowly is to build a story, not the same stuff every day, because then people won't stick around and they won't like it. So business cards, business. What is your business? Sometimes what happens, if you don't do the 33% rule, people will end up doing too much of one thing. For example, a lot of people have a lot of selfies in their Instagram. I mean, there's only so many selfies that a person can take before they stop following you. So what you want is put your personal life, you know, pictures of yourself, pictures of your family, also personal. I mean, a business, your career. What do you do for business? You'll be amazed how many times I stumble across someone that has an interesting Instagram or Twitter account or Facebook, but it takes me like 10 minutes to figure out what they do for a living. That means that that's an opportunity you could have had, but you missed out on. So as long as you balance the 33%, you'll be okay. Here's another part, hobbies. What are your hobbies? What do you like to do? I love to ride motorcycles. You know, I love traveling. You know, even though I travel a lot for business, I love traveling. So I'll do both. I'll go ahead and I'm sharing a little bits and pieces of my life every day. And all it takes is one image, one video, one quote, one comment, one hashtag, one phrase, and it will change your life. And what I'm talking about changing your life is that other person on the other side that can change your life got to see it. So that's what I want you to understand. You're not doing this for your families and friends. Yeah, they're going to benefit. They're going to see what it is you're doing in your life. But you're also doing it because you want to get out there. If you want to be successful and you want your brand to be recognized and you want to go ahead and be known, you got to go out there. You got to go out there. And if you're not the type of person that goes out and networks every day and goes to all these major events, this is the best way of doing it, from the comfort of your own home, using the social media. You guys still with me? Raise your hand. Come on. If the hands don't go up, then I don't keep going. Here we go. All right. Social caring, very important. Reply fast. People take too long to reply. If someone sends you a message on a Facebook feed or on a Twitter feed or whatever, even Instagram, make sure you reply fast. And the reason I tell you that is because, and fast can be, like for me, sometimes it takes 24 hours because I might be on a plane or on a ship or whatever the case is. But usually 24 hours, before the 24 hours are up, I usually get back to you. And that's what's important. You got to reply fast. Social media is fast food. They want it yesterday. So if someone is reaching out to you and telling you, hey, I'm interested in what you're doing, I would like to have you as a guest speaker or whatever the case is, and you take 3 days to get it back to them, it's too late. That spot has been filled. So you want to make sure you reply fast. Another thing is you want to make sure that you reply with positive stuff. If you have nothing positive to say, don't post, period. Shut up. Even though if you mean it, even if you say, well, it was just a joke. you've seen how many people get in trouble for putting out jokes. You got to be very careful. Think about what it is you're going to put out there before you put it out there. Okay, you guys with me? If you are, raise your hand. Come on now. Here we go. 3 strikes, positive message. This is an example. Now, let's say someone goes ahead and gives you some information on Facebook. You put up a picture and someone says, I love your picture, Bert. It was great. You know, I really love what it is you're doing. You write back to them. Thank you so much, Maria, hypothetically. And thank you for your support and love. And then she'll say, well, you know, Bert, I really want to talk to you about something that's really important, and I think you can fit right in. Stop. 3 strikes, you're out. What I mean by that is after the second or third, you pull them to a private message. The reason is because as that message is going back and forth, whoever is tagged on that message or whoever has been a part of that message will be getting a bing every time. So if you're binging back and forth, you know, 10, 20, 30, 40 times on a feed, you're going to lose followers. And I've seen that happen a lot. And then they wonder, why did they leave? They left because they got bing, 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 bing 10 times. And it's horrible because you know how hard it is to get people to follow you. Because, you know, when we first started social media back in 1996, back in the old days, you know, there was only a handful of people out there. Now there's so many channels that people would just click away. They're not going to stick around. So if you go ahead and you go back and forth with some information, make sure that when you get to like the third one, you're out. Put them on a private message so that way you can get to them without everyone else getting involved. Repost. Social media is caring, is sharing. If you like something you see, and especially from people that follow you, you find something that you like, share it. If it's positive, if it's something that's pleasing, it's a positive movement, it's a seminar that you wish you can go to, but you're not able to, the more you share, the more you repost, the more you will grow. You know, it's in the Bible, you reap what you sow. So you got to make sure that, you know, you share the wealth. You know, I have a decent following. And like one of the things that we're talking about with a friend of mine, he's like, you know, I have over 150,000 people on Twitter. I have 50,000 and I'm only following like 60 people. And then he says, well, I'm following 150,000. At the end of the day, there's an actual app, which I don't have the time to share with you today, but if you get back to me, I'll let you know what it is. It's an app that you can actually go in there and see the power of their Twitter. With 150, that person was not even reaching nowhere near, I think it was 12%. That's where they were hitting. When they looked at mine, I was hitting about 80%, 72 to 80% at any given day. So I may have less people, but more powerful people. So that's what you want. You want to make sure that you don't just buy a list and try to feed it that way, because all that's doing is feeding your ego. You want to do that. You want to make sure that your message is strong, what you're doing is strong, your product is great, and you will see it grow organically. And, you know, even though the power's in the numbers for certain things, but for other things, a lot of these companies are looking at what the actual views are really, and the actual followers that you truly have, the real loyalty behind it. That's really what they're looking for. And that's starting to change, because at first it was all about how many views and how many clicks, and that's changed. So keep that in mind. Blogging. Blogging is extremely important. I usually do a blog once a week. I know for sure I do it once a week. However, every now and then, you guys have seen me, I'll do a blog every day. And at first it's not easy, but if you're a writer, it's going to be easy for you. And you need to be blogging, because images are not the same things as text. If you have a website and you have a section with blogs, you will attract more people to your website because of your blogs, because they become keywords. And SEOs are the search crawlers that go through the internet. They find these words and they start moving you up and down on the Google search engines and all these other search engines. So you should be blogging. And people say, well, what do I write? Write about your passion. Write about your product. Write about your life. You'll be surprised. And once you start writing, you'll be surprised how great you write and how many people will follow it. Let me give you an example of some powerful tools that blogging does. Number one is ideas for larger networks. You know, like I said, because, well, I didn't say it, but larger networks are always looking, like TV shows and local stations are always looking for news. And when they do a search in the morning, if they stumble across one of your blogs, could be the reason why you end up on the Today Show. I'll give you an example. One of my students, great student, she's a great speaker. She was doing blogs. I got her to do blogs, and she's an amazing writer. Long story short, she started blogging. Within 6 months of her blogging, she got a call from the Today Show, and she didn't have to pay her way there. They took her down there. They did what they had to. They brought a camera crew. They filmed everything, and she was in the Today Show, all because of a blog. And I'm not telling you this because, like, telling you, you know, it sounds easy. It's not. It's not easy. It's a lot of work. But if you do the work, it will pay off. You know, your company and you will have a voice by blogging. You build a stronger brand because they'll know that you're more educated about the product or service that you're selling or the coaching that you're selling. The other thing is it creates free PR. You know, free publicity. Nothing better than that. You know, cost effective. It's absolutely free. If you're doing it, it's just going to take away maybe 20 minutes of your day or an hour, depending how you write. You know, so you can even write something on an evening that you get empowered, and then you see that it's too long, break it up into 2 blogs. It's very simple. You can just have fun with this. You know, audience insight. You know, these are some of the stuff that you want to be able to do to be able to get your brand out there. You know, let me look at the time. Yeah, I'm going to speed it up a little bit more. These are some of the social medias you should be a part of. Number 1, Twitter. Why? Twitter is educational. Very short, to the point. It has a short shelf life. Whatever you put up there, sometimes people will post 3 times a day the same thing because there's different time zones around the world, and they want to make sure that everybody gets to see it. So when you do a tweet, it doesn't stay around too long. You know, even though you'll be surprised that somebody may like one of your tweets like you did 2 months ago. Those are people that are searching. But for the most part, educational. Facebook, it's just presence. You got to have Facebook presence. And some people tell me, well, I don't like Facebook. That's one of the issues we're having. I have a lot of executives and people that are part of Mastermind. They're like, well, we don't use Facebook. And I'm like, no, just have a presence. You know, it just exists on Facebook. You know, you can make it into a business. That's a whole different seminar. I can share that with you another time. But create a presence on Facebook. Also, LinkedIn is for corporate. So they can see the corporate side of your business or the corporate side of you. Because that's really important. People want to be able to know that you are, you know, it's an authority. It's real. This is legit. And that's what LinkedIn will do for you. So make sure you get your LinkedIn account. Google Plus, that's the future. It's not going anywhere. They've had their ups and their downs. They fluctuated with their app. They messed around with it. They took it down for a little bit. They brought it back up. But at the end of the day, Google is not going anywhere. So if you don't have a Google account, go out and get one today. Instagram. Instagram is a great promotional tool. I mean, I can sit here for 10 minutes and share with you so many things you can do on Instagram, but at least get your Instagram account and start posting some pictures. Now Instagram went from having a 15-second video to a 1-minute video. And we'll talk more about that as we go along. Also, YouTube. YouTube is the best place. Now, this has 2 sides to it. If you're a millennial and you want to get your business out there, YouTube is the place for you. If you are a baby boomer or Generation X like myself, it's going to be a little harder. Most people don't go to YouTube for that. However, you need to have presence there, and the best place to host your videos is not in your computer. It's on YouTube. Because once it's on your computer, you're not earning anything out of it. Nobody ever gets to see it. And by the time you put it out, someone else did the same video. So the whole important thing is not to capture video every day, is to post it every day. And the best place to post video is on YouTube. So if you don't have an account, get it. And if you have it, start using it. Get involved. Glide. Glide is a great app. I recommend it because Glide is going to give you practice. One of the most important things in social media today is video. I've been doing videos for so many years now. You know, I've documented my entire life. That's why sometimes when you see a reality show, I'll have videos from the past, and you can see my children growing up, and even before my children. The first time I was able to make a decent amount of money, I went and bought myself a camera. So I'm really comfortable in front of a camera, and I want you to do the same thing. So it's not the easiest thing in the world, but the best place to practice is called Glide. Download the app, look me up, look up Belinda, look up any member from the Mastermind circle that you see them on the Mastermind Facebook, and connect. We actually have a couple of groups there. So there's a group for self-help. There's a group to share one group is called BOWA Life, to share your life and little stories and support each other. Another group is called BOWA World. That's where we have challenges every day. We have a word of the day. We have topics. And, you know, there's other groups. And you can create your own group and get used to talking in front of that camera, because the more powerful you become in front of that camera, the more successful you're going to be. Periscope and Facebook Live. These are the new boys in town, or girls in town. These are the new babies. And again, you're going to be in front of the camera. And it's not the easiest thing in the world, but if you do a little bit of gliding, you'll get used to it. And then once you start doing your Periscope, you'll be an expert. And Periscope and Facebook, they're going in two different directions. They're competing really hardcore with each other. There was another one called Meerkat, but I'm not even going to bring that up because these are the two leading ones right now. And it looks like Facebook is going to take Periscope down eventually. I know I said it first. I just want to make sure. But either way, make sure you get both of your accounts, and then you decide. You're going to get, let me break it down pretty much. If you have Facebook, you're going to get followers that know you and follow you already. And you might get a couple of other ones if people start sharing your videos. If you do Periscope, you get new followers. So what I recommend is you go on Periscope at least once a day or once a week, do a video, start getting followers, and then turn them onto your Facebook account, because you'll start building Facebook stronger, because Facebook is a larger platform and there's more people there. However, they're not going to see your video unless someone shares it. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, but you definitely need these two. And then Snapchat. I call Snapchat fast food society. You know, it's 10 seconds, an impact. I do motivational moments, and they usually last between a minute to 3 minutes long. And I'm training myself to do Snapchat because it's 10 seconds at a time. So if I have something and I'm long-winded and I want to talk about something, I have to break it up into 10 seconds. But that's the way of the future. It started as an app for many years for children, and now evolved that corporations are using them. And even, the CEO of T-Mobile started doing Snapchat about 3 days ago. And it's because he knows his market on Snapchat is growing and he doesn't want to miss out on it. So if you don't do Snapchat, get an account, get involved, follow me, follow anyone on a Mastermind Circle. And in fact, if you're on Mastermind Circle and you have a Snapchat, when we're done with this session, please go to the Facebook group and put your Snapchat picture on there. So when people start adding people, they can add you too. And support each other. And you can see some Snapchats that you like, and then you'll find your own style. And once you find your style and your voice, you'll start getting followers. But definitely get involved with Snapchat. Video tools. Here, I'm going to share with you a 30-second tool that we did in Instagram. Instagram, I use it for different things. One of the things I use it for is to do personal stuff. I'll say a message. I'll talk with people. I'll do my motivational moments. I put pictures of me doing some great stuff on stage, which is my passion. And every now and then we do a campaign promoting a product or a service of some sort. And we do a 30-second commercial, a 15-second commercial. And now they allow you to do a 1-minute commercial. And some of the big boys like The Rock, he's in the movie right now with Kevin Hart. And you'll see they're doing 1-minute commercials. So it's powerful where it's going, but this is a sample of something you could do.
Did you know that on average, women utter almost 7,000 words a day? Men get over just 2,000, but Bert Oliva, 10,000 a day.
Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Watch more episodes of your favorite show on www.bowa.tv.
That's a 30-second commercial. Now, on YouTube, what I recommend is try to do a video that's a little bit, don't go over 5 minutes. Because in today's world, we live, like I said, I keep saying this, we live in a fast food society where fast food is not fast enough. People will go ahead and complain because they want everything yesterday. So make sure that your video is concise and about 5 minutes long. If your video is longer than that, even if it's a demo reel showing your product and service, try to make it less than 5 minutes. We have a demo reel, an actual video that we send to producers all over the world that are interested in our reality show, and it's a 5-minute video.
Anyone can entertain you, but only we edutain you. With a mixture of fun, learning, and craziness, my team and I travel the world motivating and connecting with people. Are you ready? Welcome to the family. Hi, my name is Bert Oliva, and I'm a Cuban.
I'm Alexa, y yo soy colombiana.
BOWA World is a lifestyle.
BOWA World started as a vision of Bert's. He wanted to help change the lives of 100 million people in a positive way during his lifetime. And I thought, oh my God, this guy's out of his mind.
We get to travel the world, get to meet different people.
Okay, let's go.
And it doesn't hurt that we get to rub elbows with the VIPs. And then we'll work for 2 or 3 days, and then we'll stay an extra 2 or 3 days and just have some fun and check out the scenery.
We are in Venice.
He has a passion for people, and he has a passion for helping children.
My name's Sabrine.
My name's Dylan Oliva.
Miles Oliva.
A lot of people think that their families are crazy. But you really have not met mine.
I like to work out and be adventurous. To go off-roading.
My little brother.
It's kind of cool seeing him transform into a teenager. She's always the life of the party and she's very intense.
I'm a Puerto Rican and Colombian, and I know no Spanish, no hablo. When it comes to a crazy stunt, they usually call me going on top of cars, ice baths, explosions.
I'm the BOWA crybaby. Why am I in front of the camera right now? I do the computer stuff. It sucks. If anybody happens to actually know how to delete this, let me know. I can be a pain in the ass.
My name's Eric. I make up the 0.01% of the white people that live in Miami.
What does it mean to be Cuban?
That's great! Our family unit is just crazy.
There's no privacy.
We just really put it out there. Doesn't matter if we're in the hospital, if we're having a car accident. There's always a lesson to be learned from this.
We need to do something bigger than us. We're going to be able to do that.
Y bienvenidos a la familia.
That's what YouTube is for. We're able to put in a 5-minute video, you get it produced nicely, and it's a perfect place for you to have that tool when you need it. Okay, now, this is one thing I want to share with you. By 2019, video will account for 80% of all customers' internet traffic. So what you need to do, if you've ever been in sales, you've ever been in any type of business or company, and they've taught you how to communicate, communication 101, make sure you look the person in the eye. Have you guys ever heard of that? If you have, raise your hands. You know, make sure you look that person in the eye. Well, guess what? The eye of the future, it's an iris. That little thing, that little camera, that's your new eye that you're going to be looking at. See, I'm talking to a camera right now, but I know it's not a camera. I know there's people there. I know you're paying attention. And that's what you need to do. You need to become comfortable to talk to the eye of the camera. Because a lot of people, you know what they do? They put the camera on, and instead of looking at the camera, they look at the screen to make sure their hair is right, and you're not connecting with that person. There's a difference if I talk to you like this versus if I talk to you like that. You saw the difference. That's what I want you to do. Start looking at your camera, your iris on your phone or any device that you use, knowing that there's a person there, and that's who you're talking to. You're no longer talking to a camera. You're talking to the person of the future. Does that make sense? Raise your hands. Here we go. Okay, this is a great video. I got to put this video up. I know I got a few minutes left. This video is going to share with you, for those of you that don't have studios like we do and high-end production, we did a video to show everyone how they can use their phone to create powerful videos. If you guys want to see this video, raise your hand. All right. Okay, I'm not seeing enough hands up. Come on now. There we go. All right, here we go. I'm going to share this video with you. It's a great video. It's going to share with you. Pay attention to the details on how to use your phone to create powerful videos.
Hey guys, this quick and easy tutorial will walk you through the do-it-yourself package for video bits. Now the first thing that you're going to need is a black sheet. You're going to get this black sheet and drape it over a door. Also make sure that you flatten out your sheet to make sure that there's no creases or wrinkles. The next thing you're going to need is a lamp for lighting. Now this can be any lamp. The first thing that we're going to do is take off the shade. Now in order to set it up properly, the best position is a couple feet in front of you and just outside of the camera's view. The next thing that you're going to do is film yourself using a camera phone. If your camera has two cameras, one in the front and back, usually the one in the back is higher quality. Now another tip to know when filming is don't film vertical, always film horizontal. Also, when doing this, don't wiggle. Try to stay as steady as possible when filming. Now to cut down on the camera shake, we can use a couple things. You can find yourself a willing friend, find a tripod, or you can get creative and place it on a solid surface. Make sure to keep your videos short. Make sure that they're no more than 8 seconds. Also, don't forget where this video is ending up. Whether it be family members, clients, or whomever, make sure that you smile. Also, when you're filming, make sure that you film in a quiet area. Quiet on set! Follow these simple steps and you'll have everything that you need in order for us to produce your video bits.
The video is a great video and it shares with you a couple things. One of the tools that it shares with you is when you have a phone, and I see people doing this all the time, stop doing videos like this. Unless you're on Snapchat, which you have to use it this way for the most part, always do this, landscape mode. Reason is because this is the actual setup of a TV station, a television. So if you start doing your videos like this, eventually, when all the videos end up on television, it will fit on the entire screen. Unlike those videos where you look on TV and you see the sides are black. But besides that, there's a lot of other techniques in there. We're gonna go ahead and post that link in the Mastermind Circle group so you guys can check it out. Video marketing. 97% of the people will open a message if there's a video attached to it. 90% will open it within the first hour. 72% of the people will purchase something if they see a video. 24% of brands are created because of video. 6 billion hours of YouTube are being placed every day. 88% spend more time with video than anything else. People are becoming video hogs, for the lack of better words. So you gotta create content with video. You gotta get in front of that camera. Hashtags. Who uses hashtags? Everyone should be using hashtags. If you're not using them, you're not benefiting from the power a hashtag has. So samples. For example, I have here, I am BOWA. And then the other one is make it happen. One thing to know, Twitter recently came out with a new system that if you put more than 2 hashtags on your 140 characters, there's a chance that they won't allow the feed to go wide. So be very careful because some people will go ahead and put every word as a hashtag thinking they're going to get more people to watch, and that's not what's going to happen. So usually I recommend anywhere between 3 and 5 hashtags depending on which social media you're using. But this is let me break down the hashtag system, how it works. Get yourself 2 hashtags. 1 hashtag that's definitely yours, that you're trying to brand for yourself. Like for us, we have I am BOWA. And I am BOWA belongs to us. So what happens is anyone that's doing the movement, everyone that sees me all over the world and they start using the I am BOWA hashtag, you can look up, do a hashtag search, and 98% of the stuff that you find under I am BOWA is by someone that's doing the movement. It's by someone feeding out the message. It's by the team doing it together. So you'll be able to find those feeds just by looking at the hashtag I am BOWA. Now the second hashtag is make it happen. There is no possible way that I can have control over that one because it's not personalized. Make it happen, everyone uses it. However, if you use a powerful hashtag like make it happen, and let's say 5 million people just used it this morning, there's a chance of those 5 million people stumbling across mine and coming to see what I'm doing. So always do one that's maybe standard for you because that's going to have a smaller viewership, and then one that is sexy and is a trending tag that people are using. So when you use that hashtag, it's just going to attract more people to your page or your post. Okay. And a couple of facts I wanted to bring up before we go into closing. Millennials are changing the recruiting industry. A study found that 73% of 18 to 34-year-olds found their last job through social media. Okay? They didn't find it by making a phone call or by going to interviews. They went through social media. Sales representatives using social media outsell 78% of their peers. And 84% of people trust recommendations from people they know. Only 15% from brands. You know what that means? That means that you are a brand. That means that you are more powerful than you think. How many times have you gone to a movie and came back from that movie and you're really excited and you've made other people go see the movie because you shared that experience? Well, that's what you need to do with Mastermind. You know, get involved. Share it with other people. And I'm just joking around, but do it with your product. Do it with your service. Let it become something that people share, because notice 84% people will trust recommendations before they look at a brand. So our brand can be beautiful, but they're going to listen to you, the person on the other side. A message of the week is social media is the ultimate equalizer. It gives you a voice and a platform to anyone willing to engage. You're a celebrity. You're a superstar. Remember, I've always told you, you are greatness. However, don't be greatness in your own place. Share that greatness so the world can see it, so you can live the life that you deserve and desire. It is that simple, pretty much. Go out there, share you. Let them get to know you and your brand. Become a part of social media. And if you are doing it already, I congratulate you. But if you're not, go out and do it today. I wish I had more time, because there's a lot more I wanted to share with you, but I hope you enjoy this, because it was really put together really well. There's a couple of things we want to talk about. We're about to go to the questions. We have enough to have like about 3 to 5 questions. So please, if you're ready to ask questions, ask Valerie right now that you want to go live. We want live questions. Next week, make sure you get on top of your registration. Make sure that you're on time. Make sure that you invite people. Let people know about what it is that we're doing. You know, my goal is to change the lives of 100 million people in a positive way, and I know I'm going to do it because I'm going to do it with your help. So the more people you're able to share, don't keep this information off of you. Share it. It's in the beginning. Teach to learn, learn to teach. Go out there and teach and learn and share it and let them know where you got it from. Also, next week, we're going to have Bill Walsh. He is America's small business expert. He is a phenomenal, and I do say phenomenal speaker, great person for you to connect with, especially if you're doing live questions. You'll be able to connect with him and then contact him on social media. I recommend you attend that session. It's going to be extremely powerful, and you're going to enjoy it. You know, great guy, great friend. We've connected, and I definitely had to bring him on for you guys. Andrew, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's see. Who's the first person we have?
Lisa Moran from Long Island, New York. I got 2 questions. One is first for Andrew. Andrew, I want to thank you so much for coming on tonight and being a speaker. It was awesome to hear a little bit about you. I do know that you have a son. So what do you want your son to see you as right now, with everything that you've been through growing up?
One thing for sure that I want to see that I'm fighting. You know, I'm fighting I'm fighting to fulfill the things that I want for my life, so that way he can learn to walk his path too. Because I don't want to fight for him, because that's the same thing that a lot of parents out there say. You know, I want to do it for my kids. I feel like over the years that I've had him, I've been able to try to do it for me, so that even when he grows up, he'll know that daddy, this is the legacy daddy left behind. That means I can also leave a legacy for myself.
Great, thank you. And I got one for you, Bert. Bert, you do know that I produced Inspirational James, the radio show. How would you feel about cards, hand out cards for him?
I think it's a plus. I mean, there's a numbers game. When I was at Xerox years ago, that's where I started my career. Xerox Corporation selling copiers, and they had the best sales training in the world. And the stats haven't changed. If you buy 1,000 cards and you give out 1,000 cards every month, there's a 2% that you're going to get back, even if it's horrible. So that changes because of the way you give out the card. So I would definitely, we can talk about this, in the private group. But I think you guys should invest in getting yourself some little cards, letting people know about it, where they can log in and see the show, because I know you guys are creating your website. And wherever you go, any person you meet, you give them a card, because you got to be proud that you're doing that. Remember, the more people listen to the show, the next level is sponsorship. And once you start creating sponsorship, then you get invites and you get interviews. So you guys have come a long way in a short time. I think business cards is a real smart idea.
Thank you. You guys, thanks you very much, Bert. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Lisa. Andrew, I'm proud of you, man. You've done a great job. I'm excited. This is awesome.
Belinda Roldan from Marshall, Minnesota. And Andrew, my question for you is, what do you think during your trials when you were growing up and when you ended up in Canada, between then and now, what do you think your toughest decision was?
I mean, my toughest decision was to follow my heart, you know, like to believe in myself that there's something greater out there for me. Because what happened is when I came to Canada, you know, I happened to sign a contract with a cricket team. I was too young. I was only 17, and they humiliated me. They looked under me. I would tell them I want to go to school, and they'll be like, come on, you're African. A lot of you Africans are out here working in the factory. You should do that, you know? And like, I had friends that stayed back with me, and most of them chose to do that. But me, I was like, you know what? I've always wanted to be cool. I've always wanted to do something for them, to leave a legacy behind. You know, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to follow what I'm going to do, what I want for myself. And I don't care if I meet the goal or not, as long as I follow my heart. And that's what I was able to do. And I was able to achieve it, you know.
That's amazing. Thank you.
Thanks, Belinda.
Thank you, Belinda. Andrew, your story is amazing. It's extremely powerful. And remember, that's just the beginning of your journey, because life is a journey and we're all going through it, and you're actually embracing it and you're enjoying the process. That's what I love about it.
Thanks. I'm glad that you do, sir.
Hey, I'm Maggie, Polish girl from Mexico, yes. And I have a question for Andrew, of course, because he touched my heart.
How you doing?
Hi, Andrew. Yeah. My question is, what is the biggest goal right now?
I mean, my biggest goal right now is to like try to get into a travel company and be able to learn, you know, the skills, learn the prospecting, you know, how they prospect, how they do their sales, because my passion is travel. You know, I come from a country where there's beautiful, like, you know, like attraction, like these natural resources. My dad happened to work for as a travel agent, and he would bring home like an ostrich's egg, you know. He'll bring back home like hides from like a tiger, or like, you know. And over the years I developed a passion of like, Daddy, I want to go and watch these things. I want to go and see these things. But at that time I did not know that what he was doing was actually, you know, affecting the lives of animals, you know. So like, now that I'm aware, I've developed, you know, like a heart where like I want these animals to exist for the future generation. I want to like be able to conserve the wildlife in Africa, and I want, if like I learn the skills and I be able to move on with my company, like a travel company, I want to be able to like half of the funds that I acquire, I want to be able to invest in the conservation of wildlife, you know, like. Also, my path, I was born in the slums where there was no education. Most of my friends were using like drugs. You know, I want to be able to like change the lives of those kids that were like me 15 years ago, you know. So like, that's part of the like, yeah, that's part of the like, you know, the legacy that I want to create, to be able to change the lives of those kids that don't have the opportunity to go to school. Because a lot of kids actually in Africa love to be in school, but they're caught up in a situation where school is too expensive, you know, they cannot afford it. They have only, people around them are always negative, you know. Like, I believe every kid has something great within them, but they have to get the opportunities to be able to, you know, embrace that, you know, embrace the greatness within them.
When last time you
were in that? I was in Uganda in 2014.
So not far, not that far.
Yeah, I was able to go in 2000. It was great. My mom was ill, so I was able to like go back and visit her for a while.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Andrew, thank you so much. It was a pleasure. It was
welcome.
Love hearing your story.
Thank you for inviting me. You know, it was really great to be part of it. You know, and I'm glad that, you know, I was able to, you know, share my story. You know, and hope I can, you know, touch people's lives and through my story. And I'm glad that, you know, I was able to be part of this.
Somebody in New York saw you, someone in Minnesota saw you, and someone from Mexico saw you. And she's Poland. You know, so people all over the world got to see you today. So this is how you start. You're sharing your message with like-minded individuals, which means that now you're closer to your goal. You never know. In the next couple of days, you might get a call from someone in the Mastermind group, and they might be able to you another opportunity. You never know. This is why I created this group, because it's global. It's all over the world. So I wanted to take this time to thank you for the support. Thank you for your message. And I want to just call it a night. Thank you for being part of the Mastermind Circle. My name is Bert Oliva. Remember to live life and don't let life live you. And I will see you guys next Wednesday. Make sure to invite people. Come on now. Get more people in here. I'll talk to you guys later.
Register online and join us today for all new live interviews and weekly topics only at themastermindcircle.com.